Welcome back, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing? Feel free to say hello. Let us know who's here. Let us know where you're joining from, if it's your first time, how your Mercury retrograde is going so far. Good morning, Anne. Greetings, Jackie. Good morning, HP. Hello, AJ. Thank you, Bonnie, for the birthday wishes. Today is my 32nd birthday. And here we are. Peace, C. Nice to have you. Good morning, Jackie. Thanks, Carmina. Hello, Kirby. Good morning. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Jackie. Jennifer says happy birthday. Monique says happy birthday. HP, it's my first time. Thank you. And happy birthday. Thank you. I'm Heather from Cranbrook, British Columbia. Welcome, Heather. Thanks for joining us on this fresh new start. For the last 2 weeks, every time I drove, I would see 427 on license plates freaking everywhere. I kept seeing 427, 427, 427, and I don't know why. But today's my birthday, so there we go. Thanks, Christine. Jaya, happy birthday. It's my birthday too. I love it. Welcome, welcome. Happy birthday. Anik, happy birthday, you young astral divine chickadee. Thanks, Anik. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, C. Chris from Germany. Let me do my best to remember. So, Heather and Chris. Okay, Heather and Chris. Hi, Trisha from the UK. Hello, Chantel. Welcome. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Bonnie says, my husband has been really sick for a week, and now I woke up sick too. Checking to see if this is a sign about the house we are considering bidding on today. Interesting. Let's see what comes out through the cards. Allison, thank you very much. Jackie says Mercury retrograde started to lift for me between Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, that's good. Thank you, Charlotte, for the donation. I'll take that as a birthday gift. I appreciate it. AJ, yay, happy birthday. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Charlotte. Christine says happy birthday to Jaya as well. Well, let's see. I have some updates for you guys before we get into Mercury retrograde and all that stuff and card pulls and whatever. Jackie says, meaning life was dicey prior to that. So it started easing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Very nice. Very nice. So thank you, Nicole. So last weekend I drove to Tennessee with my husband to visit his sister. So it's like an 8.5-hour drive. So we drove down on Saturday, which was the 22nd. So it was already Mercury retrograde and everything was fine. And then Tuesday, when we drove home, something about time on Tuesday was just completely wonky. Every morning that we were there, I found this Dunkin' Donuts down the road, and I drove myself to Dunkin' Donuts, and it took 15-20 minutes. And then the day that we're trying to leave to go home was the first time I had my husband drive to this Dunkin' Donuts, and it took us 45 minutes for some reason. And then we took a different route home, and it ended up taking us 11 hours to get home instead of 8.5. And it was just this weird time warp kind of deal on Tuesday. So that was an interesting Mercury retrograde thing. Additionally, the day before Mercury stationed retrograde, so last Thursday, the 20th, I've been having, if you guys have been following me here, I've been having some internet connectivity issues on Insight Timer. So I've been exploring other options with YouTube Live. But last Thursday, I was just forget it. I'm just going to buy a new computer. So I hopped on eBay because I don't care about refurbished and used stuff. And I found an iMac and I bought it, and it came in while I was on vacation. And so I got home during Mercury retrograde and I went to go set it up and this computer doesn't have internet. And I was like, what the hell? So that's just so Mercury retrograde impacts things like technology, like things that used for messaging, because Mercury is the messenger. So types of communication can be hindered during Mercury retrograde. So just odd things. So yeah, let us know in the chat if you have any weird stories from Mercury retrograde so far. We have 2 more weeks. It's done on May 14th. And he's retrograding through the sign of Taurus. So if you know where Taurus falls in your birth chart, specifically from 5 degrees to 15 degrees, that's where Mercury is retrograding through right now. I believe right now he's at 13 degrees. So he's like just starting to swing backwards and he'll start moving faster throughout the next few weeks. However, I put 2 things in our spiritual community for you yesterday and today. Our spiritual community is the group that I have here on Insight Timer, and I posted 2 updates. Yesterday, I sent the link because I was featured on someone else's podcast, which was really cool. It's called Guilty Pleasures and Shameless Treasures. The host's name is Courtney, and she found us through Insight Timer. So I was on her podcast yesterday, so that link is in our spiritual community if you'd like to hear me talk about myself more than I do here. And then also last week I started my new one-on-one coaching program, and the details came out through my email list. And then just this morning I was like, why not just post it in our spiritual community? So the link to the email that came out regarding my coaching program is in our spiritual community, and I'm offering one-on-one coaching at like a ridiculous discount the first time around to get some feedback from you guys, to get some testimonials. So here's some Age of Aquarius, a little bit of a give and take with that. So check those links out. They're in our spiritual community. And then tomorrow, at the same time as today's session, I'm going to be doing this on YouTube Live. So I've been playing around with different platforms because even Christine says today your audio and visual is not syncing. So maybe today is a day to just put me on in the background and listen and not try to focus on my face. But tomorrow, 8:15 Central, I'll be on YouTube Live talking about next week's lunar eclipse. So I'll give you guys some updates about the lunar eclipse tomorrow. You can search just my name, Jacqui Mancuso, on YouTube. And I also post these replays to YouTube. So if you want to subscribe to that so you can check out what I'm doing with the technical issues that we sometimes have here on Insight Timer. Jackie says, makes sense. My cousin flipped out on me because I didn't text him within 24 hours. And then he turned it around, making it like I never check in on him. Mercury retrograde. I love it. Thanks for sharing, Jackie. Hi, Lynn. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. And then just to give you guys a heads up, I haven't scheduled the sessions yet for next week, and I'm not sure how I'm going to split Insight Timer and YouTube, but Monday, Thursday, and Friday, we have stuff going on. So those are the 3 days that I'm going to be somewhere. So just, I don't know, keep your eyes open. Monday, Thursday, Friday. If I'm not here on Insight Timer, I'll probably be on YouTube Live. Carmina says Mercury retrograde is affecting me right now. After I post a comment here, the display goes wonky and I can't get back into the chat box. Also been having issues logging into websites. Mercury retrograde ends on my birthday. That's awesome, Carmina. Those are exactly Mercury retrograde symptoms. Technology being weird, not being able to get into logging into the websites and everything. Oops. I also have a friend who I haven't talked to. Like, we worked together a few years ago, and then he moved to Texas, so I don't talk to him very often. And the other day, he texted me, and he was like, Jackie, Mercury is going to be retrograde from April 21st to May 14th. That's his birthday also. He's like, what does that mean? And it just made me so happy to know that, like, that's the person, that's who people know me as. Like, oh, astrology, something weird is happening on my birthday? We got to go ask Jacqui. I think that's hilarious. So we're here to just check in about Mercury retrograde today. Before we go into, next week, Pluto is going to station retrograde on Monday. So we're coming into more retrograde energy for a couple weeks before Mercury stations direct on May 14th. Next Thursday, we have Venus squaring Neptune. So the planet of love, Venus, is making a harsh aspect to Neptune, the dreamer, the god of the seas. And then next Friday, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So we are in eclipse season. We just had the new moon solar eclipse a week ago on the 19th. Yeah, a lot of stuff is starting to shift this year. We started 2023 pretty slow. We started with a Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty sure we had like Uranus retrograde and something else. I feel like we started this year off with 3 retrogrades, so we started already just like, whoa, hang on a second. And then in January, we started speeding up a little bit, coming into all planets moving direct. And we were moving direct January to February, March, April. So we had 3 months of just forward motion until we just had Mercury turn retrograde on Thursday. So Mercury is moving back, as I said, from 15 degrees Taurus to 5 degrees of Taurus. Good morning, Nikki. So when Mercury is retrograde, when any planet is retrograde, the energies of that planet just turn inward. So Mercury is the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication. Mercury is the messenger. So when he is retrograde, it's almost like all of our messages need to pass through an extra layer before they can get out. So miscommunication is huge during Mercury retrograde. Either you might say something and it comes out the wrong way, or you can be hearing people the wrong way. People can be hearing you through a different filter, through a different lens. Communication, especially with scheduling, gets kind of wonky when it comes to Mercury retrograde. And now that it's happening in Taurus, Taurus is the sign of like our basic necessities, our basic needs: shelter, food, love, comfort. So just keep an eye out for those types of communications until May 14th. What else? Carmina says, yeah, I've been telling Mercury to bug off every time this happens. That seems to help. Yeah, Mercury retrograde isn't supposed to ruin your life. It's not supposed to be this weird fork in the road. It's one of those things, like, if you're aware of it, you can name it and then take ownership over it. Just like emotions, like when you're feeling frustrated, and if you let the frustration just go and take over, it takes over. Or if you can call yourself and be like, oh, I'm feeling frustrated right now. It's almost like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde right now. And then you take ownership of it and it doesn't affect you as much. Nikki, it is, Mercury is retrograde until May 14th. Carolina, hello. It says wacky with the effects of the eclipse last week. How has it been treating you, Miss Carolina? Jennifer says, I was so frustrated with my editor because she didn't get back to me with a meeting time. She then emailed me that she lost my message. So this is all good to know. Yeah, it's you, like, I don't know. I take astrology very lighthearted, and it's one of those, like, Mercury. Come on. You're welcome, Nikki. So let's just jump into the cards today. I want to pull from the Star Codes Astro deck, and we're just going to check in with Mercury and see what else he needs us to know until May 14th. This is going to drive me nuts. How many actual days are until May 14th? So we have 3 more. Okay, so 17 days. 2.5 weeks. I always do group readings, so if you would like to send your energy into this deck right here, whether that's blowing on the screen, whether that's sending energy through your eyeballs, whether that's touching your screen, whether that's just intending that your spirit guides are going to help the cards fall out of the deck. However, sending your energy to the deck looks for you. Carolina says, I do not like confrontations and had a very confrontational situation last week, which made me upset. I apologize. Confrontations are uncomfortable for some of us. I don't even want to say most of us. I don't know. I also shy away from confrontation. I'd rather smooth things over peacefully. But sometimes, like, my husband and I had big arguments both on the way to Tennessee and the way home from Tennessee. And he is a Sagittarius, so he's just a very quick, like, fire, get it out, and then it's gone. So I'm starting to appreciate confrontation for that reason, because it doesn't need to be as aggressive as we assume it's going to be. And when you hold the confrontation in and you just let it fester inside of you, it's like this nagging thing that just hangs out for years. You know, why not just say it and get it out? It's a work in progress for me too. You mean he's like a dog, Jacqui? Sure. He doesn't shake it off though. What else? Let me just scroll up here. Carmina says, I need to renew my driver's license this year. Plan on doing it today, but afraid of what Mercury might do to the photo. No fear. If it happens, it happens. Just laugh it off. You never know. Mercury retrograde also, it doesn't like necessarily mean that every single transit thing is going to be messed up. Every single communication is going to be bogged down. It just can. It depends on how Mercury, like where he is in the sky and how it's affecting your personal natal chart and the person's natal chart who you're dealing with and the natal chart of the business that you're working with. Yeah. Christine says, I sent you an email last week and it just came back to me today saying you're on my blocked list. Hope it's Mercury retrograde and not just me. Interesting. Cool. That's odd. Carolina says it ended peacefully though. Well, that's good. Thank you, Laura, for the birthday wishes. Carolina, I'm a Scorpio and he was a mad, inquisitive Pisces. I get it. Carmina, I know, tongue in cheek. I'm rarely pleased with my ID photos. Yeah, when I turned 25 and you have to get your license renewed, it came up on my memories this morning, my Snapchat memories. And I look like I just want to kill someone in that license picture. Was not happy with that one. All right, so we're asking Mercury what he would like us to know throughout the next 17 days of Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to show you the backs of these 3 cards, and I ask you to use your intuition just to see if any of the cards stand out to you a little bit more than the others. I'm letting you know right now this whole reading is for all of us, but if a certain card just draws you to it, if you hear a ringing in your ears when I hold up a certain card, if the screen glitches or like gets brighter or darker when I hold up a certain card, that's how our spirit guides talk to us. If you feel like a muscle twitch or a tingle or an itch or something like that, that could be your spirit guides talking to you. And then let us know if any of the cards resonate more strongly than others. So here is the back of card number 1. And I'll hold it up for a little bit longer because I know the audio and visual might not be synced up perfectly. Here's the back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. So let us know if any of those are pulling you more strongly than the others, and I'll hold them up one more time. Carolina says she's Scorpio, Rising Sagittarius, Moon in Aries. You're a feisty, feisty little lady. Here's the back again of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Oh, wow, look at that. Charlotte's a Sag with a rising Aries and Moon in Scorpio. It's like you guys are the bizarro versions of each other. Nikki is the same as Carolina, but Moon in Libra. Love it. All right, Jacqui's working with 1, Jessica 2, Anne 1, Nikki 1, Samantha 3, excuse me, Laura 2 and 3, Chantel 2 and 3, Kirby 2 and a little bit of 3, Julie 3, Valerie 2, Anik 1, Heather 2, Carolina 3, Jennifer 3 with a wee bit of 1 and 2. Christine 1 and 3. Jacqui 3 is something that's going away for me. So we asked Mercury what he would like us to know as he finishes his retrograde. Well, not even finishes, as he continues through the remainder of his retrograde phase. Lori says 3, then 1. Charlotte, no feelings for any, so I'm going with all 3. It's just one big long message for you today, Charlotte. Lynn, the kids screamed outdoors on 2. I love it. I love it. This whole thing is made for you. This whole incarnation is made for you, so that is a clear sign. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. And I'm a Taurus Moon, Aries Ascendant. I'm a Taurus, Moon in Aries, and rising Sagittarius. Love it. Alda's working with 1. All right. Card number 1, asking Mercury what he would like us to know throughout his remainder of retrograde phase. Card number 22 brings us Mars energy, and the key word is motion. Mars, a mythological god of war and the traditional ruler of Aries and Scorpio, speaks of independence, enterprise and willfulness, aggression, passion, and defenses, including your body's defenses, such as your immune system. Mars takes 1.9 Earth years to go around the zodiac. So your terrible 2s, when you learn to say no and yes and to demand things, was the expression of your first Mars return. Interesting. Mars urges you to take action, any action, but this can get you in trouble. Jump into motion, but stay in the driver's seat and think through the consequences of your moves. Mars is raw energy, and like the motor of a fine sports car, it can take you far if you add wisdom and guidance. Mars wants you to develop your strength and bravery, so work out and develop muscles, or rescue the proverbial underdog. Boldly go where you have not gone before, and passionately dive into life. Mars loans you the competitive edge to obtain a fiercely desired goal and teaches that for your yes to truly mean yes, your no needs to be respected. Know what you want and don't want, and be aware of those desires in the people around you. Learn to fight and fight fairly. Stand your ground with grace and compete against your own personal best. If you are in a difficult situation, it could take real strength and willpower to transform or escape. You may need to dig in your heels so you are not pushed around, or pull out your sword to draw a clear line in the sand. Do what needs to be done, just make sure it's the right thing. I love it. Christine resonated with that immune system, working through an illness right now. Bonnie and her husband are sick, working through that immune system right now. Yeah, this card is letting us know that, like, it's time for action. It's time to do. I bet that the rest of this reading will clarify more about this Mars card, because the message kept coming through like it's time to take action, but take refined action. Take graceful action. Take fair action. This isn't like, what's that word? Immature? Childlike? All right, let's just throw ish at the wall and see what sticks. This card is calling you to refine and take your lessons that you've learned in the past from doing those haphazard things and act from a place of wisdom. I want to see what the rest of this reading brings out. Let's see. Let me know if anything else stands out from the cards to you guys as well. I feel like more people resonated with cards 2 and 3 today as well. Card number 2. This one has come up a lot when I pulled this deck on Insight Timer. So number 48, 10th house. The keyword is authority. If your chart were a village map, the 10th house would hold the courthouse, government seat, and the public face of your work. Here is the arena for your most public self, your relationship to authority figures, and your role as a leader. You are being asked to step up and take on the next level of personal authority. It's hard to build something without a clear blueprint. So look at your definition of a strong leader and decide whether you need to amend it. Remember how you felt as a kid about your parents, the school principal, priests, police, and teachers, and observe whether they used their responsibility wisely and encouraged you to develop yours, or whether you needed to rebel to be safe. Notice your relationship to the concept of the divine authority and investigate if it was something to be feared, ignored, or expanded. Did it offer you safety and refuge? These patterns affect both how you react to outside authority and what you expect from yourself as a parent, professional, or leader. Sort between the traits that worked and those not worth emulating. Deconstruct assumptions about authority that no longer serve you. Authority is no longer what other people carry. It is what you are developing within. Take responsibility for healing old wounds around empowerment and create new blueprints. If needed, tell off someone who abused their authority, either in person, in therapy, or in a letter that you burn and release. Get the training and certification you need. Create a mental collage of good role models, people who lead in a way that empowers others. Create a clear picture of competent, responsible, lovable, and empowering authority. Step into that role and be that pillar in your community and family with confidence. Yeah, this card keeps coming up for us. I feel like it has to do a lot with personal authority, leading yourself, being the leader of your life, and being the leader that you've always wanted, even if you had some self-centered authority figures in the past. I feel like that was a big theme in my childhood, and I don't know if it was just me or if you guys resonate as well, but like I've never liked people telling me what to do. I always got this feeling that people would tell me what to do for their benefit. Like it wasn't for my benefit. I wasn't being led in a way for my growth. I was being led in a way to make their job easier, was how I always felt about authority. So perhaps there is some shadow work that I need to do about authority. I've been doing a lot of cord cutting lately. I did a cord cutting ritual with you guys on Insight Timer a few weeks ago, and the recording for that is on my YouTube channel. It should be pretty recent, within the last like 4 or 5 videos. But that would be something to cut a cord with a previous authority figure in your life. Curious to see what you guys are saying about this. I love it. Anik was talking about card 1. She said that was loaded for me, had me at immune system, have had an illness, and getting a colonoscopy in 2 hours. Awesome. Well, the energy of Mars is there with you, helping that immune system through. I wish you a fun time with that, Anik. Have a fun time with that. Stacy, I feel like we got this card last week or something similar. Love it. It's really trying to tell us something. Yeah, this is, I think, like the 3rd or 4th time that this card has come out, maybe even in a row since I've been using this deck. I don't know. It's a it wants to be heard. Chantel, definitely for me, the 10th house. I just found a piece of paper on the floor with the number 10 on it, and my battery is at 10%. I love it. That's, yep. What's going on in your natal 10th house? What planets are interacting with your natal 10th house right now? Lynn says, thank you. I've been looking for the Insight Timer meeting when this card showed up earlier, and I haven't found it. Boom. In our spiritual community, the group on Insight Timer, Bonnie has been helping me with putting the recaps of all the card readings in there. So those, it might be worth it to go, if you're interested to see when this card has come out before, head over to our spiritual community and see where it came up. I know it came up, I did a session in my Reiki room one day. Do you guys remember? I was in a different room. It wasn't here. And I know that that card came up then, and I know that it came up probably last week or something. Yeah. Authority. Why are we're being asked to look at authority from our past, like not current authority. We're being asked to heal something about previous authority figures in our life in order to create our internal authority to its highest expression. Kirby says, this hits home for me. I just decided yesterday not to pursue classes at my university this fall for work and to prioritize my family and spiritual path instead. That's a huge decision, Kirby. That is a very ecliptic decision. Let's see how that plays out for you. You know, all these things, all these like big decisions to walk away from things that we're doing out of obligation, especially obligation for something else, for work. You know, when we walk away from that, beauty just tends to unfold. That's very exciting. It's very exciting. It came up on April 18th. Thank you, Lynn, for that. The 10th house came up on April 18th. Yeah, if you're a video person, go check out that replay on YouTube. Search my name, Jacqui Mancuso. All right, card number 3 is number 33, South Node. This is all about the past. South Node is what is at play during next week's lunar eclipse as well. Just know that. And it is a Scorpio lunar eclipse. The traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars. This is a heavy reading today. Not heavy like difficult, heavy like there's so much meaning behind it. So card number 3, number 33, South Node. The South Node describes what you bring along from past lives. Your skills, addictions, weaknesses, unfinished business, and a physical place within your body where you may hold tension or ancient karmic stories. The lunar nodes are the points on the zodiac where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic. When the moon, sun, and earth exactly line up here, a shadow mysteriously covers the sun or moon, and creates an eclipse. The ancients thought a giant creature cast those shadows and referred to the gnomes as the head and tail of a dragon. Where the moon descended toward the south is the dragon's tail. This situation has its roots in some past karmic pattern, the origins of which are not clear. You need to either apply skills that you were born with, or look again at old problems and work to heal them. The situation feels hauntingly familiar, but without a story to go with it, echoing traces from another time or life. An old love or familiar enemy may return, or the patterns involved could remind you of an earlier difficult chapter. If someone triggers your south node, you may feel like you owe them, or they owe you. And while that may be true, this accounting won't help you now. Cleanly deal with what is on the table and stay in the present moment. Learn new ways to respond, new skills that help when old trauma is triggered or old cravings sing their siren song. Break that spell. Use breathing techniques, investigate dialectical behavior therapy, or do something unexpected just to break those patterns and give you more options here and now. Stay focused on a healthy future of your own making. A lot going on in this card. The words sound like it contradicts a lot of what's going on, but essentially this card is saying to stay in the present, right? Don't react to current situations as a trigger from the past. I want to say that in a different way. So like, here we go. This makes so much sense. The first card, Mars, was telling us to take action, but take evolved action. Take action in a way that is not haphazard, mature action. The current situation, whatever is going on in your life right now. How do you take action? How do you take evolved action? You go back to old authority figures and heal the shadows that are there so that those karmic wounds don't affect this current situation, so that you can stay in the current situation. If you don't heal your shadow, if you don't heal your past trauma, it's going to keep coming up, and it's going to make your life look miserable, right? Most of the stuff that bothers us today, it's not actually bothering us today. It's triggering a wound that we haven't healed yet. Yeah, just the stupid arguments I was getting in my husband with when we were confined in the car together. I wasn't actually upset with what was happening in the moment. It was that his actions were triggering something in 6-year-old Jacqui that hadn't been healed yet. And vice versa. However I was treating him, it wasn't that he was upset with what I was doing, it's that my actions were triggering something in 5-year-old him that he hasn't healed yet. And then, you know what? Those things don't need to affect you for the rest of your life. Once you're able to go in and, do some inner child work, do some cord cutting with the people who, the authority figures that taught you to believe the things that you believe, once you heal all of that, you can stay in the present and you can take inspired action on what is best for you right now. Interesting that we got cards 22 and 33. You guys know that I love those angel numbers. Repeating numbers just make it that much bigger. On my 32nd birthday? Whoa. I love it. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. We'll pull one more card from a new deck. Christine says that authority stuff that you are describing makes total sense to me. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad this is resonating. Samantha, I had an old love show up in my life about 3 weeks ago. Why? What's the point? What is the lesson that the universe wants you to learn from this? Jessica says, wow, this whole reading is definitely for me today. I woke up today reliving memories I haven't given attention to in a long time. Why? I'm trying to think. So I listened to a bunch of astrologers, and I know that Molly McCord is just now talking about with the retrograde energies and the eclipse energies, this is a time, yes, we're in the middle of 2 eclipses right now. We're in the middle of the solar eclipse, new moon, new beginnings, and the upcoming lunar eclipse, which is like a big ending. We're in the middle of that. So I'm seeing like a infinity loop just bouncing us between the 2 energies, which is where we are right now. At the same time, Mercury is retrograde. When Mercury retrogrades, that invites us to do all of the RE words, to rethink, revisit, reflect. So if we're in this karmic cycle right now of eclipses are just huge changes. They bring huge changes, things that will affect your life for years to come. So a lot of childhood stuff can be coming up right now, ready to be healed, so that after eclipse season, you can leave all that ish behind and move on with your life. So that's interesting that you brought that up, that you're having those past things come up. I pulled some cards for myself this morning, just a quick 3 tarot card spread asking what my purpose is for year 32. And it was to forgive myself and others for past, and it was all like mental stuff. It was like nervous energy, like forgive for like dishonesty things. Yeah, very interesting. Jennifer says, oh my God, this is so on. I have been so triggered lately with past issues. Now I have to remind myself it is a new time. It gets easier to handle these triggers when you heal your old wounds. When you go, and it seems like you're making it up. It seems like you're just going into your imagination, but you're not. When you can talk to your younger self with your current emotional intelligence, you can hear them out and like validate their emotions that they were having at a time when they didn't have your current emotional intelligence. And then it's like, that's like literally time travel when you go back and you talk to your inner child. It's magical. It's beautiful. Jackie says, I'm doing cord cutting and starting inner child work to deal with my 5-year-old self. This is resonating so strongly. I love it. I wouldn't say you're dealing with her, you're healing with her. Charlotte, so how do we deal with those past traumas? Ugh, if we could only just forget that crap. By doing, it's the shadow. The shadow is scary to look at. That's why everyone's afraid of the dark, because you don't want to look at the darkness. But once you look at it and you literally take your inner light and you just shine a light on all the shadows, you see that it's nothing but a hand casting the shadow. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use a metaphor and it's all just coming out too fast. But once you actually observe the shadow and you stop being afraid of looking at it, it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's just the man behind the curtain. We don't have these like demons that are lurking around us. I don't buy into that. I think that that's BS. It's all fear. Fear makes everything this big when it's really not even this big. So yeah, check out the cord cutting meditation that I have on YouTube. In the near future, there will be one on Insight Timer. It just wasn't the right recording because my dog started barking and stuff. And you can also hop on Insight Timer, look for other people who did cord cuttings. Look for inner child meditation. Look for shadow work meditations. Christine says number 3 is spot on. All 3 cards resonated with me today. Love the card. Love the number 33. Awesome, Christine. Me too. Thank you very much, Nicole, for your donation. Very much appreciated. Lori, thank you for the birthday wishes. Jessica, yes. IFS therapy is amazing for this. Jessica, would you tell us what IFS therapy is? I am not familiar. we're going to pull one last card to wrap up, culminate, tie everything together, leave us with one last message. And I have a new deck. This was gifted from my sister-in-law, Mystical Wisdom. This was just at her house and I was using it and she's like, do you like that? You can take it. So that was very, very well received. And I just felt like using it with you guys today. I just love the cover with all the peacocks and the flowers, and it's just so beautiful. Anik, thank you very kindly for the donation. It's very much appreciated. Very kind of you. Lynn says, Jackie, I'm sending all my love and forward energy to you. Thank you, Lynn. Received. Appreciated. If you guys would like to send your energy into the cards, we're asking for just a wrap-up message. One last card to tie together everything that we've learned today from our guides. If you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they are always appreciated, never ever expected. If you'd like to support me in other ways, following me on Insight Timer makes it look like I have street cred. Following me on YouTube makes it look like I have street cred. Commenting on my videos, liking the things that I post on social media, all of those things are exchanges of energy. And what you put out comes back to you, right? If you'd like to work one-on-one with me, my link tree is in my Insight Timer bio. So I do so much stuff. Like, I'm even overwhelmed with myself at sometimes, but you can get the link to my website so we can work one-on-one together. That's there if you want to check that out. If you want to join me on my brand new one-on-one coaching program, it's at a heavily discounted price right now. There's a link for that in my link tree as well. I put it right at the top because that price is only available through Taurus season. So just letting you know. What else? I have a podcast on YouTube. It's a playlist on my YouTube channel. Trying to think of what else I do. You can join our spiritual community. It's the group that I have here on Insight Timer. It is, the intention is that we all share what we find on Insight Timer, right? Like, I don't know everything. You guys bring your knowledge here to these sessions and all this, like the IFS, like what's that? I want to learn what that is. But if you guys find stuff on Insight Timer that you like, different meditations, different talks, I don't know, just cool stuff, share it in our spiritual community. It's our place to collaborate and connect on these woo-woo topics, because I know that not all of us have an in-person community to talk about this stuff with. And the updates of these cards go there, thanks to Bonnie. So, Anik, evolved action, woo, yes, and past healing too. All resonates big. I love it. Jessica, thank you very kindly for your donation. And Jackie, thank you so much. Rhonda, hello, wishing you a wonderful birthday. Thanks, Rhonda. All right, let's wrap it up. Our Mystical Wisdom deck brings us the Animal Bound card. And the message right now is stand up for all animals. This makes no sense just yet, but let's see what comes out through the extended message. You have a special relationship with animals. The world needs you to stand up and have a voice for all animals on the planet. Help protect the wildlife and rescue animals when you can. Give a donation or get involved online. Volunteering your spare time to animal shelters would be greatly rewarding. This may be just the time for you to save a cat or a dog from the shelter and give it a loving home. The mantra for this card is, I share my love with animals and the world. All right, this resonates with Anik. So the first thing that came to mind is we're talking about all this like past healing of authority figures. So I'm wondering if there was an authority figure in your life who told you to treat animals a certain way. And you know that that doesn't sit right with you. Wow, I was just flooded with like real life examples that I know about that. I know that one of my friends learned from one priest that animals don't have souls, and then from another priest that animals do have souls, and that caused a whole bunch of confusion with the belief system and all that stuff. My dad, I didn't know this until after he passed and I read his journals, but his deepest wound was trying to bring home a stray cat when he was a kid, and his father said, "Get that thing out of here, we're not taking that." And that was like a heart wound that my dad had for the rest of his life. Animal bonds, stand up for animals. This is also causing me to have feelings of using like totem animals to help you through this energy work. Perhaps there's an animal that you just feel very strongly connected to because of its underdog energy. Wasn't this Mars card talking about underdog energy as well? Like, is there an animal that you just feel so much compassion for? The way that it's treated in the wild, or the way that society has been handling it? Perhaps that animal could be a totem that you work with the medicine of, you work with the energy of that animal to help empower it and empower you at the same time in order to heal your past stuff and stuff. Let's see. And what did Lore say? My birthday is on April 20th and always identified as Aries, but now in the zodiac and has changed to Taurus. So, Lore, you gotta go with where the sun was the year that you were born. The sun doesn't follow the made-up Gregorian calendar. The sun does its own thing, and the made-up calendar just happens to use certain dates. So, check out the year that you were born and see where the sun was. I love it. I think that's so funny, though. Yeah, because it could be either. That's on the cusp. Some years it's Taurus, some years it's Aries, but the day that you were born, the sun was in a place. It doesn't change. Lori says yes to that animal card. Anique says, I literally have a baby 3-week-old cottontail bunny in my hand this whole reading. Found stunned in our yard, been feeding and offering Reiki, and he's doing well. Oh, that's so beautiful, Anique. Oh my gosh. I'm taking that as a sign that, like, that is what's helping you heal your past stuff. Like, that's just an affirmation from the universe. Wow. Christine, oh my God, this is my card. I was listening to an angel podcast yesterday on communication with animals. This is what I've been telling you, Jacqui. Bingo. Oh, okay, so is this you, Christine? Did you change your picture? I'm pausing for a second because I'm trying to open your... Yeah, it is you, Christine. Okay, I thought so, because I thought about you when this card came up, for sure. Standing up for animals. That's like your whole thing. I love it. You changed your picture. Thank you, Rhonda, for your donation. Very, very much appreciated. My screen is frozen for a second because I was trying to look at Christine's picture. Chantel says, I remember buying a bird when I was very young and being so upset. I need to wait for my chat to catch up. I'm sorry. I'm frozen for a second, but I want to see what you said. So interesting. I love doing this work. All right. A wounded magpie flew into my house a few days ago. Aw, I remember buying a bird when I was very young and being so upset. A wounded magpie flew into my house a few days ago. Did you save it? Even if, so like all that stuff happens, if a wounded animal comes to it, this has happened to me so many times. Like, we found baby bunnies in our yard, tried to rescue it, and then realized that like Mother Nature is what's best for the baby bunnies. Later realized, okay, by the way, if you guys ever find baby bunnies, the mothers leave the the nest like all day and then they come back at night. So if you find baby bunnies on their own, that's nature. Like, they're okay. And the same with the birds. We found wounded birds, like little babies laying at the bottom of a tree, and, you know, we wanted to take it in and rescue it because we have big hearts and we wanted to help animals. But the best thing to do is to just keep it in a box, like keep it safe and protected so that the mother can see it and come back and get it. Like, nature works it all out. I love it. I love it. Anik says he chose the name Zoomy. Lots of predators on our property, so trying to give a little time to grow. Look at Zoomy, so cute. Christine, thank you for the donation. Very much appreciated. Allison, wow, similar heart wounds. Did you have a similar thing growing up? Lynn, a panther revisited a couple of days ago. I think it is my totem. Yes, lots of animals want to work with all of us. They just come up at certain times because sometimes we need certain energies more than at other times, if that makes sense. Yeah, like for a while, owl was in my face and then hawk was in my face. The wolf, I don't know, the pictures, it's one of those like switchy pictures, so you can't really tell right now, but the wolf is like my always. Here's the wolf. And then other things like crow and raven want to work with me right now. And how do you know what animal wants to work with you? Threes. Look for threes. When something comes up 3 times, that's when it's like, okay, all right, I get it. Christine, yes, that is your life purpose. Carolina, when I'm done reading the chat, I'll look at your profile picture. I don't want it to freeze again. Chantel, I had to let it out the front door as I have cats and kittens. Okay, that makes sense. But that was what I meant to say at the end of that. Like, just let nature take care of it if you're not able to assist. And as long as you put the positive intention, you send the love, you send the intention out to the universe that this baby bird will be okay. This baby bird is in the process of healing. That's how it goes. Thanks, Christine, again. The nest was empty for that bunny. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that you were doing the wrong thing. I trust your intuition. I know that you're a very big animal lover as well. All right, Carolina, this is loading. Oh, look at all your kitties. Yeah, 2 kitties and a puppy. I love it. Very, very cute. I have 2 of my dogs here with me right now. Whenever I light the incense, they usually get out of here. They don't like being in my room with the incense. However, what a very interesting way to end this reading. We're talking about using our evolved action. So not reacting, responding to something. And then I really did take this as like, you can use refined action by doing some shadow work on your previous authority figures. Especially if this has to do with some animal wound. What type of animal wound might you have? Thanks, Lee. Happy 30-second trip around the sun. Here I go. Yes, Carolina, animals have such good energy. I have a recording on Insight Timer. It is, I'm reading the script of a channeling session. So I didn't do the channeling, but I'm reading a script from someone who channeled Metatron, and the whole session is Metatron talking about how animals are already evolved. They are here to be like that support system for us. Yeah, give it a listen if you're curious. Nikki, thank you. See you soon. Thank you guys for being here today. It was a pleasure. Thank you for all the donations. They're very, very much appreciated. You guys have really helped start my birthday off on a wonderful foot. I am grateful for the technological ease throughout today's session. I was born when Mercury was retrograde, so if that is your case as well, we just kind of vibe easier when Mercury is retrograde. Like, my brain is normal when Mercury is retrograde. Others might feel some brain fog. I'm on it. I'm on point. Yeah, and I guess technology likes me when Mercury is retrograde as well. So that was nice. If you want to join me tomorrow morning at the same time, 8:15 Central, head over to YouTube, just search my name, and I'll be live at 8:15 doing the same setup like I do here on Insight Timer. And we're going to be preparing for the lunar eclipse. We're just going to be doing like a week ahead preview of the lunar eclipse. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your energy, for sharing your stories, sharing your healing, sharing your light and your love. Love to all. Namaste. Thank you, Jessica. Take care, and I will see you guys very soon.